Is BTC going to dig alts out of a hole? That's what we're going to explore in this video. We're going to go through all the usual charts, BTC, ETH, some TradFi with the S&P and the dollar. Of course, we'll go through altcoins, looking for some potential altcoin trades. And we'll also go through what to watch out for this week in terms of the big events. So before we get started, if you do enjoy our content, please do like and consider subscribing. We really do appreciate it, and it does help out the channel massively. So before we get into the charts, let's quickly go through the big events this week that's coming up. So this is on Market Watch, major US economic report and Fed speakers coming up this week. Of course, the big one is on Wednesday, where we have the FOMC. And then on Thursday, we've got some initial jobless claims. And then we've got the services at PMI on Friday as well. So, and a couple of Fed speakers as well on Friday afternoon. But of course, the big one is the FOMC at the moment. If we take a look at the CME Fed Watch tool, as you can see, it is currently a 99% chance of a pause on Wednesday. So no rate hike, certainly no chance of cutting either. So as you can see, the market is pretty much at consensus that there will be no rate hike. So if for whatever reason there is a rate hike on Wednesday, that will be a massive shock to the markets. But as I say, there is a very, very, very slim chance of that happening. And so more than likely, it's a bit of a non-event on Wednesday. But of course, we'll have to watch out and listen in for Jerome Powell's language during the speech. Is it hawkish? Is it dovish? And what are his opinions on the current data that they have available, and what's his outlook for the rest of the year? I think there's only 2 more meetings left for the year, so will there be another rate hike this year or not? We'll have to wait and see. So if we get into the charts, then it's already quite a volatile morning. As you can see, we can quickly go through the BTC higher time frames. Well, there's not much change from last week. Of course, we are still holding 25.2 for now. Halfway through the month, that's a good sign. On the weekly, again, we did have this nice little bounce of 25.2, looking to continue that momentum going into this week. If we go to the daily now, then, of course, we are above that 26.3 level, which we held. Nice little bounce off that on Friday, which we discussed. The weekend was a little bit damp. It was looking like more downside. If we go to the lower time frames, if we go to the 4 hour, as you can see, we're starting to look like we were rolling over on Sunday evening. But as you can see, early hours of the morning, I think it was 2 o'clock in the morning. Let's take a look on the 1 hour. Yeah, 2 o'clock in the morning, as you can see, big spike. And as you can see, we've been continuing that momentum. More recently, just as I started the video, we're just about touching 27k, as you can see. So we'll see if that momentum continues, because as we talked about last week, there's no real reason why I can't see us getting up to 28k. The only thing that may stop us getting up to 28k, if we go down to the lower time frames on the 4 hour, there's a pretty decent level of resistance here at about 27.2. 27,250, depend on your exchange, but you can see it was this brief support here when we started breaking down towards the end of August, 31st of August, and then we dropped down. But also there's all this inefficiency here from where the selling just absolutely collapsed. So nothing but air really from here up until about that 27,250, maybe even 27.3. But of course, once that all gets filled out, potentially that's where the momentum stops and we may roll over again. So definitely an important area to watch. If we do clear that, though, absolutely no reason why we can't hit 28k. So that would be interesting. Of course, what's been happening so far, if I just quickly show you the relationship between alts and BTC at the moment. So if we just quickly look at what happened on Sunday, you can see that really nothing happened on BTC. Slight rollover towards the end of the day, but nothing really. It was pretty flat for most of it. But if we then compare that to some of the alts, so ADA dropped a fair bit, although not as much as others. AVAX definitely had a terrible weekend, as you can see, dropping to the floor. Actually made new lows, not new lows for the year. MATIC, as you can see, a little bit dumpy on Sunday. NEAR had a terrible Sunday as well, as you can see, dropping quite far. BNB actually had a strong day, as you can see, actually rallied for most of the weekend. DOT again had a pretty bad Sunday, dropping quite low. VeChain's been dropping ever since Saturday, early hours of Saturday morning, but as you can see, Sunday had a pretty bad day. And ZIL as well had a terrible day Sunday as well. So BTC, or alts I should say, definitely showing some relative weakness against BTC. And the only real reason they're actually in the green today is because of BTC. So as I warned last week, when I said we could potentially have BTC come down to 26.3. As long as it holds that level, then it should be good for some altcoin longs. We'll discuss how they went on Friday. But yeah, as long as BTC is strong, alts are okay. But as soon as BTC starts showing a bit of weakness, alts are going to be in trouble. So yeah, just something to watch out for, especially if we do get up to that resistance of 27.2, 27.250 and start to turn around. You definitely want to be on the lookout for alts, maybe some potential shorts if they're at levels of resistance. So that's why, as I say at the start of the video, will BTC save alts? Because they are really relying on BTC showing some strength at the moment. If we quickly take a look at ETH. Currently trying to reclaim that 1635 level. Unfortunately, it does look a bit of a mess. These levels looked really clean when we were holding them as support, and then when we broke down, you thought, okay, nice clean level to look at potential shorts, especially when we reclaimed 1583. Come up, you think this is the perfect short here at 1635, but as you can see, it's still a little bit choppy. You know, we started to break down earlier this morning and then zip back up, so it's a bit of a coin toss at the moment. As I say, we'll have to see what BTC does. Does it get up to 27,250 and roll over, or does it get up to 28k? And then you're looking at ETH maybe being at around the 1700, 1721 monthly level as a potential bearish retest. Let's have a look. Could potential bearish retest 1721 and roll over further. We'll have to wait and see. On the weekly, I've been saying for a few weeks now, I think it's coming down to 1370. It's definitely taken its time. Nice wick on last week's candle coming in towards the end of the week. So yeah, as I say, a bit of a coin toss. We'll have to see. I think BTC is pretty much the decision maker in all this, so we'll have to see what it does. If we quickly look at Bitcoin dominance, as you can see, it's rallying quite nicely off that previous monthly range high, which is now acting as support, and that of course means that ETH BTC is struggling, looking very bearish indeed. If it takes out these wicks here at 0.06, we get a weekly close below 0.06. As I've said many times before, I think we come down to 0.053, and that's a pretty good opportunity for buying ETH and alt versus BTC. So still respecting that bearish trend line for now. Quickly take a look at the S&P. So this is interesting. On Friday morning's video, I said, you know, we've got a daily close above the daily range high. As long as we hold above here on Friday, you know, close the week out above for 4541, we should see a retest of the yearly highs up here at the 4600s. But of course, Friday was a terrible day for the S&P, as you can see. Had a drop straight back into that range, so that's a deviation which is quite bearish. So we could see more downside of the S&P, and that may well bring down BTC as well. The dollar, of course, feeding into that theory, with the dollar looking strong. It is at resistance at the moment. However, if it can break through 105 and hold this as support, then that's going to be very bearish for risk on assets, e.g. the S&P and BTC. However, if the dollar does reject from here, then obviously that's going to give them some relief. So very interesting point for the dollar, because it's rallied non-stop for, what's that, about 8 weeks now. And now into heavy resistance, so you would think that there's going to be a pullback here. So let's see what happens with that. And of course the VIX is still super low, as it has been for what feels like years now. So let's quickly get into the alts then and take a look at some potential opportunities. So ADA holding those weekly range lows again, as you can see, and this is why I say, will BTC save alts? So basically a lot of them on critical supports, and if BTC rallies, then that's going to dig them out of a hole. If we go to the daily time frame, so we've got this heavy resistance here at 25.5 cents. If we can get daily close above 25.5 cents, then I do like that for a potential long. TP1 up here at 27 cents, and then TP2 up here at 28 cents. And your invalidation for that would basically just be in a daily close back below. So nice risk reward on that one. In terms of a short, I really don't like the idea of shorting 25 cents. You know, it's already had a bearish retest, and it's coming. If it does come back up again, that doesn't look like a good short in my opinion. As I say, would much prefer to long it if we get a daily close back above 25.5 cents. The places to short would probably be up here at 27 or 28 cents if and when we get up there. So yeah, that's what I'm keeping an eye on in terms of ADA. AVAX, as I said, it did reach new lows. It actually closed a weekly candle below that $9.30. However, if BTC is going to dig alts out of a hole, then this could be a really nice long. If this daily candle closes above $9.09, then I actually quite like that for a long, because it gives you the opportunity to deviate the weekly level and blast up through this, catch out a lot of late shorters. If you want to be conservative and cautious, wait for a daily close above $9.45, this previous resistance here, and then long up into there. And of course, it has the chance to actually zip up and save this monthly range low as well. So a dangerous area to be short in my opinion. I'd be looking at longs here. as I say, either on a daily close above $9.09, or if you wanted to be cautious and wait for a daily close above $9.45, and then probably targeting this area up here around $10 for a TP1, and then maybe a TP2 all the way up to the $10.87. MATIC, so we talked about this as a potential long on Friday. So we were up here on Friday, and I said if it comes down and has a nice bullish retest of 52 cents, as you can see, it did get a slight daily close below, but with price action today, no one's going to be staying up for the actual daily close. When you wake up in the morning, it's already a few hours gone, and you can see it's back above that level. So I'd be holding on to this if you did enter on this daily level, and then basically your invalidation is a daily close back below. But targets, depending obviously on your leverage and how soon you wanted to get out and take profit, is obviously a bit of a resistance level there at 53 cents. Me personally, I'd be targeting up here at about 56.5 cents, and TP2 would probably be this weekly level here at about 58, 59 cents. In terms of a short, you could look at a short if we get a daily close back below 52.5 cents and then a bearish retest. So that's MATIC. Moving on to NEAR. Now this has been a bit of a confusing one. So again, I said a bullish retest of $1.10 once we'd got above it on Friday. But as you can see, melted right through it. However, if you are still holding on to this, then it's probably not a bad idea. As I keep saying, if BTC does rally and dig alts out, and again, your invalidation will just be if it does actually close below this $1.10 today. So you could definitely hold on to that. In terms of a short, I wouldn't be shorting NEAR until at least got up to $1.16, or if it breaks below this level here at $1.06, bearish retest, and then short that down to 97 cents. So yeah, if you're not already in a long, you could obviously just wait for this to see if it gets a day close above and then enter there. Looking for along up to about $1.16 could be a nice little TP1, and then TP2, the weekly level, $1.22. BNB, so I've actually entered this one as a short this morning on the Learning Crypto Premium while you learn, mainly just because it zipped up whilst I was actually recording the video up into this daily level resistance, the key level of resistance. The only reason we got this pop was the SEC. I can't remember whether it was the ETF. I think it was the Grayscale appeal against or decision against the SEC. That's why it popped so high, and we're actually in a short there as well. Hit our stop loss, but it got back inside. So you can see nice clear level of resistance. Invalidation is just a daily close above where we'll cut it, and TP1 down here in this weekly range low, and then TP2 down at $1.89, which is this level all the way from back here in June. So that's a potential trade. Of course, if you're not in a trade already, or if you think BTC is going to carry on rallying, a nice entry into a long here is a daily close back above 219, and then long that up to, you could probably go TP1 actually where my stop loss is up here somewhere around these wicks, or up here at this start of the downtrend here at about $2.40 potentially. DOT, not too sure about this one. Again, a nice easy long, or not necessarily easy, but a nice conservative, should be a fairly safe long, is if we get daily close back above $4.27, similar to what we got here, except of course you would have cut it there once we got back below. But daily close above $4.27, and then that can rally all the way up to $4.66. Invalidation just being a daily close below, as what happened here. In terms of a short, you could look at this as a short, although I'm not really too sure. Just because it's already broken down, it's come back up, and it could well be holding this monthly range low as well. So it's potential, but I'd be looking at this for a lot, especially as I keep saying, if BTC has a decent little rally. VeChain, the level to be watching, I wouldn't be jumping into a trade here, short or long. I'd be waiting for it to come down to 0.01645. Either long for a potential bounce, or if you get the daily close below 1645, bearish retest, and then short that down to these lows down here at 0.01464. Whereas the bounce option, TP back up at the highs here at 0.017, and a TP2 maybe a little bit higher up at the 0.018, 0.019. So I wouldn't be touching VeChain until it interacted with this level here. And then finally ZIL. This one's a bit of a mess, unfortunately. It seems that if you just go to the higher time frame, it seems to just be accumulating in this higher time frame monthly level. In terms of the daily levels, it keeps faking out to the downside and to the upside. So personally, I'm not touching it until it either makes a clean break below these recent lows at 0.015, call it, or if we get up to 0.017, again, potential short, although I'd prefer a long after all this accumulation, break over the top, and if it has a bullish retest of support, and that's a really nice long up to this level here, up at 0.02. So invalidation just being a daily close back below. So that's my views on the market. Let's see what BTC does from here, and I will obviously be back with you on Friday to review how the week went, review what happened in the FOMC, although it could just be a big nothing burger with a pause, and yeah, we'll see what happens. So hope you enjoyed the content there. Hope you enjoyed the trade ideas. Let me know if you do take any of the trades and how they worked out, and as I say, I'll be back with you Friday. So have a good week, and I'll see you then.